Hi there, I'm Aidan from BYD UK and welcome to our ATTO 2 handover video. In this video we're going to teach you all the features that you need to know about your new ATTO 2. But don't worry, if there's something in particular you wish to learn about, you can skip to the point in the video to learn about that particular feature. Let's get started. Firstly, there are ways to use your key in this car, but there are different ways that we can do that. So let's just start off with the car key. You can lock the vehicle with the button from the top here, unlock the vehicle with this button here, press this button twice and it will activate the lock for the boot. And then this button here right at the bottom, if you hold it down for around 3 to 4 seconds, it's going to get the vents running in the car. Great for in the winter period. Another feature you can also use is, of course, the smartphone NFC capability or the NFC key card capability as well. This comes from standard with the vehicle, and all you have to do is just wave it against the mirror like so. And then, of course, through the BYD app, you can go through the process of setting up your smartphone to do the same feature to lock and unlock the vehicle. Next, it comes to charging cables. So to understand charging cables, we have here a 3-pin charger, which allows you to charge the car from a 3-pin plug. So very simply, at one end, there is a 3-pin, at the other end, it goes into the car. The second type of charger you're going to get is what we call a Type 2 charger. This charges the car a bit quicker, up to 11 kilowatts charging with this cable. Depending on the spec level of your ATTO 2, you may also have this cable here, which we call a vehicle to load cable. All ATTO 2s can use vehicle to load, but this cable adapter here is what you'll need to do it. You can plug it directly into the charge port and power devices directly off of this cable. A great feature. When it comes to trim levels for the ATTO 2, there are 2 different trim levels. We have the Boost trim, which is a 51.1 kilowatt hour battery pack with a BYD Blade battery inside. And then the Comfort trim also has a BYD Blade battery, but a larger 64.8 kilowatt hour battery pack. Alongside the Boost and Comfort, there are a few different trim differences as well in terms of different features. Now we move on to the inside of the ATTO 2, and one of the first things you're going to want to do is get yourself nice and comfortable. So we're going to go through our seating controls, our steering wheel controls, and our mirror controls. So we'll start off with our seating controls. Down by the side here, you're going to have the choice to be able to actually adjust your seat, which is electric seats from standard, which are 6-way adjustable. I can move them down, I can move them up, I can move them backwards or forwards. And then the back part of the seat, I can move backwards or forwards. So that's my adjustments for the seat. Next is the steering wheel. A manual adjustment underneath the steering wheel, just push it down to release it, and I can move that to exactly where I need it to be, outwards or inwards and up and down. Once I'm finished, I can just push that firmly up and that's all done. Finally, it's going to be our mirror controls. Pushing the button either here or here to signify which mirror I wish to use, and an up, down, left and right adjustment to adjust that mirror to where I want it to be. So next we're going to look into steering wheel controls and indicator stalk controls. We'll start with the left-hand side of the steering wheel. There is a button located just here on the left-hand side, and that allows us directly to activate the lane keeping assistant for the adaptive cruise control. The next button along is our 360 panoramic cameras. And then the next button after that is then some further options for the actual screen in front of us. After that, we've then got our controls at the top here, which change the distance for the adaptive cruise control, and then a rocker to allow us to set our speed for the adaptive cruise control. Then we have the right-hand side. We have a button to activate the voice assist. We then have a button to answer phone calls, and then a button to either reject phone calls or access further menu settings on the screen in front of you. Then you have a left and right button to search through tracks, radio stations, settings, whatever it might be. And this, of course, will be our volume controller, which we also have located down here, which we'll show you in a moment. Depending on which car you've previously come from, you might find this next bit a bit confusing. But what we've actually done to make things easier for you is we've put the gear selector up onto an indicator up here. So literally you can just click it down for drive, up for reverse, press the button on the end for park, and then of course a neutral in the middle. But that means that we have everything integrated into this left-hand stalk. So, as a bit of a close-up for you when we actually look at it in a bit of detail, this little rocker in the center here allows us to control our rear wiper. One way will squirt it, the other way will just turn the windscreen wiper. The next little rocker that's further along allows us to change the intensity of the front wipers, which makes sense. But of course we need to make sure that we have access to our lights. So if you pull towards, that will then flash people if you needed to do so, and pushing away of course for full beam at night time. If you wish to then squirt the front screen, you can press this button on the end here. So now we have the center console area, and you'll notice there's a couple of little buttons here, so I'm going to talk you through them just now. This little rocker here allows you to adjust your driving mode, so you can put the car into an eco mode, a sport mode of some kind by rocking it up and down. The next one along is your hazard warning button. The next one along allows you to then of course choose whether you want to use auto braking, so that means that you can lift off of the brake and it will hold the vehicle in place. Some people also call this auto hold. The start stop button is in the center of the car, that's that button just there. We can change the regenerative braking. We have two settings in all of our cars, which is either standard, the car will act as if it's like a petrol or diesel car. It will kind of, when you lift off the accelerator, it will kind of coast effectively. Or you can set it to high, and then it will actually feel like it's slowing the car down, but it's actually regenerating energy for you to use at a later occasion. The front windscreen, of course, to turn on the air conditioning, and the volume button. Slightly above there, we then have a wireless charging area for your smartphone. Now this is a standard feature in the ATTO 2, and what's really cool about this is it's actually 50 watts, so it can charge smartphones very fast if they're able to, and it's also ventilated as well, so it's going to keep your phone nice and cool whilst it then charges it. The other area on this other side just here is the NFC location, so if you're using the smartphone feature to lock and unlock the car with that mirror at the top mirror, you can of course put your phone into there to then start the car. Underneath, just under here, we also have two USB-C connections and a micro SD card connection for connecting devices and or SDs. So now we're going to mainly center in on this screen that you can see here, our 12.8-inch rotatable touchscreen. Now rotatable, what that actually means is that down here I've actually got a button that I can press, and that's going to then rotate the screen to a portrait format instead of landscape. It's a great feature, it's standard on all BYDs. It's a fantastic thing to show off. Now, if I just put that back into the position where it is, you'll see that it was on a bottom bar at the bottom of the screen. And that is actually a customizable bottom bar. So if I just take it, for example, that button there and hold it down, so any one of the bits along there, it then shows a bunch of minuses, so I can take stuff away, okay? And then it shows a bunch of pluses of things that I can add. So maybe recent tasks, I can click on that and just hit done, and that allows me to then just go through the process of hitting the button and controlling features. So a good example of that is that thanks to this slightly different format here of the indicator stalks, I now have access to my lights through here. I can set them to auto, can turn on my rear fogs, daytime running lights. I have control of my headlights directly from our shortcuts. You even have a shortcut from the top of the screen with all the main features that you would need, including your brightness and your volume and selected ADAS features. The next thing is to look at our settings. A little settings cog at the bottom just there that allows us to access our settings. And there's lots of different settings through here. So I've got our main system settings here. This is where I could go in to look at Bluetooth and hotspots and connected devices. So to actually pair a phone, I would just go into connected devices and add a device. Follow the instructions on the screen. And if possible, if you have the right smartphone for it, then you can use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto wirelessly in this car. Just follow the instructions on the screen and your smartphone to do so. We then have access to lots of other settings through here. So I can go through our sound and display settings. It will allow me to change all of our audio settings, the screen, the instrument cluster. I can change the brightness of the screen, light or dark mode, auto mode, lots of great changes there. We also then have a setting mode called ADAS. Now ADAS is a bit of an important one here, okay? This is a number of great safety features that you have access to in the car that's designed to keep you safely driving on the road. And one of the areas is going to be this sensor just here. There's a sensor located just up here that's watching with a sensor to see if I'm paying attention to whilst I'm driving. If I was kind of looking away or not paying attention, falling asleep, whatever it might be, then it's going to tell me to pay attention. I can turn off this and a number of other settings in the settings here, but you will find in most cases that the feature will activate again at next start. So some features can be turned off fully, but some of them activate at next start. And the reason for this is to make sure we have the safest settings activated to keep us as safe as possible on the road. Finally, a couple of little settings for you through here. I can go to my energy settings and set the regenerative braking like I had the button just here. I also have under my energy consumption, lots of great energy features, and then lots of vehicle and service related settings that I have access to through our settings screen on here. All ATTO 2s also come standard with a fixed panoramic roof with an electric sunshade. The electric sunshade can be controlled by these two buttons up here. So if I press that there, just light touch sensitive, and that will then just open up like so. Next is our BYD Assistant. Now I can access this on the screen in the bottom left corner by going to all the apps, or you can customize the front page to add it. So that's what I've done. I've added BYD Assistant. It's got all the settings for our voice control in here. We can change what we want to say. So we can have a wake word. If you want to name your car something, you can set that in the settings. The audio zone settings. Now this is important because if you don't say it in quite the right direction or the right way, then you might find it doesn't work as well. There is a little speaker up here and also up here for the passenger. We can go into the settings and turn off the passenger one if we wish, so maybe kids in the car, something like that. But the main way of using it is to say the following. Hi BYD.
I'm here.
Rotate the screen.
Okay, rotating the screen.
Our voice control is a great feature and really easy to use. We can even go into the settings of the voice control and go to voice skills. So it will actually show you all the things that you can say at that moment. I can actually go to the intelligent voice settings, and when I go into there, it will give me a feature to then set wake up free commands. So you don't even need to say the words to activate the voice control. For selected commands, you can just say, for example, turn off AC, and it will then use that feature. A very clever system to use is our voice control. And the final thing I'd like to mention in today's video is actually over-the-air updates. It's one of the coolest features about our BYD products. You get over-the-air updates on this vehicle which are free. And that means that you can physically update your vehicle over the air for nothing. And it gives you great features. So a good example is at some point last year, we introduced an over-the-air feature to change wired CarPlay to wireless CarPlay so that your smartphone can be connected wirelessly. Whenever you see in the settings here, you'll be able to go to the version settings and see what version of software you have. But if you ever see a software update come up, just make sure you don't drive the vehicle whilst you're doing it. It won't let you drive the vehicle, so give it between 30 and 90 minutes to safely complete the update, and then you'll have all the newest and greatest features. That's everything in today's video. But if you have any further questions, please get in contact with someone at your nearest BYD retailer. Thank you.